Hang on. We're gonna launch a nuclear torpedo in order to revive a giant monster.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the cleverest character choices in Godzilla movies. We'll be getting into spoilers, so consider this your warning. Number 10. Trapping Godzilla in an active volcano. The Return of Godzilla.
The only way we can be absolutely certain of destroying Godzilla is by using nuclear weapons.
Sometimes you just can't stop a giant kaiju head-on, but if Return of Godzilla is anything to go by, the real solution just involves a little bit of creativity. Though the military has a weapon in their arsenal called Super X to theoretically combat Godzilla, that plan eventually fails. Luckily though, they later utilize a homing device that leads Godzilla all the way into a volcano. Godzilla definitely didn't think things through, did he? Word of advice from us, big guy, you should probably steer clear of lava at all times. Even though Godzilla later gets out in Godzilla vs. Biolante, this was a genius move by the humans.
完成した高核エネルギーバクテリアを明日14時までに当方に渡すことを要求する。要求が入れられない場合、我々は三原山を爆破し、ゴジラを復活させる。
Number 9. Kong counters Godzilla's atomic breath. Godzilla vs. Kong.
So if they meet again, who bows to who? Is that it?
Now, I spent 10 years on that island studying him. I know this for sure. Kong bows to no one.
Godzilla vs. Kong is a jam-packed blockbuster that sees two titans face off. And in one of their many fights, Kong pulls off a pretty nifty move. As Godzilla blasts Kong with his iconic atomic breath, he masterfully deflects it with his axe. It's gotta be hands down one of the most badass ways to counter such a legendary attack. While Godzilla's arguably the superior fighter, this moment proves that Kong has a few tricks up his sleeve. What makes it even cooler is that he later uses the axe to strike the kaiju down temporarily. Now that's making the most with what you've got.
Looks like round 2 goes to Kong.
Number 8. Dehydrating Hedera. Godzilla vs. Hedera.
顎の裏に上陸した怪獣ヘドラとゴジラによる被害は死者35名、負傷者81名、倒壊家屋320に上っております。
Godzilla's the top monster, but you can't sleep on Hedera. In Godzilla vs. Hedera, the bizarre alien monster proves to be a real challenge for Godzilla. Due to the toxic fumes it gives off, Godzilla has to get crafty in order to take it down. With the help of two massive electrodes, he's able to severely dehydrate the extraterrestrial. It's a neat way for the kaiju to get the advantage, but it's not just smart, it's also brutally efficient. He rips Hedera apart and doesn't let a single ounce escape exposure to the electrodes. It's probably safe to say that this did the trick. Number 7. Burying Godzilla. Godzilla raids again.
ただいまゴジラ対策の話をと言われましたが、ゴジラを防ぐ方法は残念ながら一つもありません。
With Godzilla raids again, the human ability to adapt on the fly is seriously put to the test. With the scientist who devised the oxygen destroyer in the first Godzilla film dead, the humans have to come up with another plan. Luring Godzilla away with flares has limited success. But when the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force attacks Godzilla in a mountainous region, they set off a small avalanche that gives them an idea. They target mountaintops around Godzilla, successfully triggering massive avalanches that bury him, taking him out of action, at least for now. Number 6, attacking Orga from the inside, Godzilla 2000. Originating directly from Godzilla's genetic structure, Orga is a creature that can take a ton of damage and still bounce back. He even tries absorbing Godzilla in their final clash, but that's where things for Orga finally start going south. Godzilla finds his way inside of Orga's mouth, and while that might seem like a blunder on old Zilla's part at first, it's actually a calculated move. Because once he's in, Godzilla uses an atomic blast to rip him completely apart. It's a cunning move by Godzilla that produces some incredibly disastrous results for Orga. It'll be hard for him to bounce back from that one.
皮肉なものね。ゴジラで体を取り戻し、ゴジラに命を絶たれるなんて。
Number 5, building Mechagodzilla. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
桐生を空中で切り離す。
本気かよ。
切り離し用意。
Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire and build your own mechanical kaiju to fend off a big monster. In 1994's Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, an artificial beast actually helped the old lizard out. But a mechanical creation wasn't so friendly in a 2002 film. During Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, the human protagonists built a massive robot called Kiryu.
あれが。
三式気流だ。
This titan was dubbed Mechagodzilla in the English version of the movie, but no matter what you call it, this robot was still able to go toe-to-toe with Godzilla, and he proved to be enough of a threat to force him to leave Japan. Sure, creative kaiju strategies are always great, but sometimes sending a giant robot to hurt Godzilla does wonders too.
仕留められなかったとはいえ、こうしてゴジラを撃退できたという意味では。
Number 4, freezing Godzilla, Shin Godzilla.
おい、初上陸にかなりでかくなってないか。ああ、全く想定外の大きさだ。
Toho's Shin Godzilla provides us with one of the most disturbing Godzillas that we've ever seen. Forget about the campy Godzillas and the anti-hero Godzillas. This is a pure force of destruction. Led by Rando Yaguchi, a team of scientists find themselves in a race against time, as the UN has threatened to use thermonuclear weapons to stop Godzilla. Fortunately, Yaguchi's team discovers an alternative.
その過程で急速な冷却を必要とするので死に至るかは不明ですが、少なくとも活音凍結は可能です。
そのための血液凝固促進剤の経口投与の可能性を模索すべきと考え。
Based on Godzilla's biology, they develop a coagulant and manage to freeze him in place. It might not kill him, but it stops him from wreaking any more chaos.
ゴジラ、完全に沈黙しました。
Number 3, harnessing electromagnetism. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
ゴジラめ生きていたか。証拠にもなく出てきやがって。メカゴジラ。 徹底的にやっつけるんだぞ。
Every time Mechagodzilla stomps onto the scene, the big G has to get really creative. That trend started with the epic way our favorite kaiju got ahead in 1974. In order for Godzilla to destroy his robotic adversary, he leans on scientific principles. By creating an electromagnetic field, Godzilla is able to lure the mech towards him.
そう。いつゴジラは全身を磁石の塊にしたんだ。
This maneuver also allows his fellow kaiju King Caesar to run in and damage the big bot too. It's great to see Godzilla get so strategic during such a wild battle, and after demonstrating his smarts, it was equally fun to see him go back to his roots and use brute strength to remove Mechagodzilla's head from its body. Number 2. Teaming up to defeat Ghidorah. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
争いをやめてみんなで力を合わせて地球をキングギドラの暴力から守ろうと言っています。ゴジラもラドンも賛成したの？
As powerful as Godzilla is, another kaiju has managed to rival him, King Ghidorah. He's so strong that in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, Mothra convinces Godzilla and Rodan to squash their beef and team up. Though it's an uneasy alliance, eventually they're able to overpower Ghidorah and force him to retreat into the depths of outer space. Godzilla would also end up doing team-ups in later movies, like when he faced Ghidorah again in Destroy All Monsters. The Big G also allied with Kong to defeat a Mecha Godzilla that technically only existed thanks to King Ghidorah. At the end of the day, it just goes to show that sometimes the smartest thing you can do is know when to get help.
Kong can't stop this on his own.
He won't be alone.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Creating the Oxygen Destroyer, Godzilla.
これは
そうです。水中の酸素を一瞬にして破壊し尽くし
The first ever Godzilla movie is iconic for so many reasons, and one of which is the Oxygen Destroyer. Invented by scientist Daisuke Serizawa, the weapon does exactly what its name entails by destroying oxygen molecules. It's so dangerous that even Serizawa is fearful of his creation. He burns his research, and after deploying the device underwater against Godzilla, he cuts off his own oxygen supply, ensuring that no one else can ever make such a terrible weapon.
まだ大成功だ。幸福に暮らせよ。さよなら。
Sure enough, Godzilla dies and sinks back down to the ocean floor. The Oxygen Destroyer was a stroke of genius, but at the same time, a horrific weapon of mass destruction, just like the hydrogen bombs that originally woke Godzilla.
もし水爆実験が続けて行われるとしたら、あのゴジラの同類がまた
Is there an intelligent plan we missed? Let's all have a rousing discussion in those comments below.
投与の効果あり、目標動きが鈍っていきます。この気を逃すな。無人在来線爆弾、戦車投入。
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.